order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, a St. Charles City Council race will be decided in a very unusual way, and we will discuss that in just a moment.
And the U.S. keeps the blockade going in the Strait of Hormuz as peace talks with Iran happen today. We are going to chat with Major Garrett, CBS Chief Washington Correspondent.
And after I just mentioned the Cardinals having an off day today, this is after they took 2 of 3 from Cleveland at home. They'll be back on the road tomorrow. And the Blues, Amy, tonight will finish the regular season. Last Blues hockey game of 2026 is tonight. Well, of this season. I mean, there'll be hockey late in the year, in the fall, but that's it for the season tonight.
As it should be. They didn't make the playoffs, but they didn't deserve to. So.
They did not. Just an unfortunate season for them, and we roll on. And so does the city of St. Charles. I like St. Charles, you know?
Do you
I like it.
See, you're prejudiced against crossing multiple rivers.
I do not like crossing 2 rivers. Now, living in Missouri, I only have to cross one to get there. So I am pro St. Charles. I am also pro voting. And whenever anybody tells you your vote doesn't matter, let the city of St. Charles council vote be the thing that
proves otherwise.
Correct.
That disabuses you of that false notion that your vote doesn't matter, because by golly, it matters.
Because in a race for the Ward 1 of the city council, we had a damn near tie, and it was decided by 1 vote, with school teacher Chris Kyle ousting incumbent Bill Otto.
Okay.
By 1 vote.
Yes.
Now, because the vote is so close, there is a provision in their charter that what they're supposed to do is hold a special runoff election. Now, city officials have determined that the cost to do such a thing would be $30,000. And they have decided that's too much money. So we're not going to spend $30,000 on this race.
Yeah. And not only was it a close vote by 1 vote, but on Monday, the provisional ballots were counted, and there was 1 that was cast in favor of Otto. So it was actually officially a tie on Monday. So it was 1 vote at the end of the election and then a tie. So
where we are now is they are going to decide this race by drawing a name out of a jar.
A small, opaque jar.
Yes, it was told to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that it is a small, opaque jar that they are going to use to decide who the next city council member is in Ward 1 in St. Charles.
So these guys tied, right? So it looked like the guy won by 1 vote, and then a provisional ballot came in, was certified. So it was tied, and it's going to cost too much.
Yeah. So
to recount or do another election.
So, okay.
So they're going to pull a name out of a jar. This was mutually agreed upon.
All right. I have a couple of, and this is yes, both parties agreed to it. And I believe this is part of the process anyway.
Okay. This is like biblical, casting lots.
I have a bunch of different thoughts about this.
Yes.
And one of them is it really so unimportant that they just I don't know, pick a name. Just pick a name, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It does minimize the position a tiny bit.
Kind of. It's like
Bush, Bush v. Gore was like the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
This is a small, opaque jar.
Yeah, this is... It makes it feel a whole lot less important of a position. You know? If you...
how much is this going to cost us? It's fine. Just use a jar.
30,000? No, I don't care. Just
use a jar.
You guys figure it out.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, why don't we just bring back duels?
Swords or guns?
Oh, it's got to be a gun. It's got to be over quickly.
No, you were going to say sword.
No, because that's too much, too bloody, too violent. It's a little too personal, using a sword.
Swords do feel more personal.
Not as personal as a knife, but it's pretty personal.
A sword is more intimate.
Yeah.
It is. Because you start facing each other, right?
Yes.
Well, you do the 3 steps, but this one, the gun, yeah. I don't know that we should do duels.
No? Okay.
I feel like because here's the thing. If this job is decided by a small opaque jar feels a little trivialized. If it's decided by a duel to the death, suddenly it feels too important.
Right? It's maybe more important than president.
It's too important. I think a duel to the death. So this small opaque jar, since they said that reported that this is the jar we have, was this jar already designated for this job?
I bet it
and
is.
And they broke the glass in the hallway. They broke the glass and they pull out the small opaque jar.
I think there is a ceremonial opaque drawing jar that they use for this purpose only, and they've probably not ever had to use it in the past, but it's always been there ready to go. I'm sure it's been somehow blessed by some deity. I don't really know, but I think it is. There has to be a feeling that if you end up winning, don't you think you'd be like, all right, I guess I won by drawing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as fun as being the fifth caller to the contest line, to win tickets to see Billy Idol or something.
Well, I mean, would you ever be able to say the people chose me? Well, I was the people's choice. You weren't. You were the jar's choice.
Well, and then yes, you're right.
Because usually you say, hey, elections matter. Right. Unless it comes down to a jar, at which point they don't matter at all. Why didn't they just start with the jar?
Well, whether it's Chris Kyle or it's Bill Otto, whoever wins, won't there in the future, if there's ever any sort of disagreement in the council meeting, and one of these guys says something and the other members say, oh, what do you know? You won by drawing.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like you lose a little bit less
jar
authority?
Boy. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, jar boy.
Yeah. So I will say this. I know this is real. These are real people. And I'm glad for a little levity, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful that, think of it this way. This is, you know what this is? This is a contrast in approaches to county government. Because here you have the St. Charles County government well within their right to spend $30,000 to find out who the people want for Ward 1. And they say, you know what? We're not wasting taxpayers' money on this. We have a small opaque jar that we think will do the job just fine. And both of the potential county council members said, you know what? You're right. We are both fine with the small opaque jar. Meanwhile, over in St. Louis County Executive Sam Page is wasting taxpayer money, and it is taxpayer money, suing the county government, the county council, and the county council obviously is spending taxpayer money to fight the lawsuit because Sam Page is going to London for 6 days, and he is hell-bent on not letting Rita Hurd Days be county executive in his absence because apparently, until this week, he thought, quote, it wasn't a big deal to her. She didn't think it was a big deal. But then he heard rumblings that, wait a minute, Rita Hurd Days is going to start a revolution while I'm gone in London. Not over my dead body. So now he's wasting taxpayer money with this lawsuit. I think right now St. Charles has the more responsible county council members.
Also, this made me think of something else. You may not like Sam Page as a county executive, if you're on the council or if you're Rita Hurd Days.
Well, you probably don't because nobody likes him.
Right. But here's the point. If you're not the permanent, like the actual county executive.
Yeah.
Would you really take it upon yourself to change a bunch of crap in 5 days while the main guy is gone? Like, wouldn't you just kind of hold steady during that time?
Well, that's what apparently he thought Rita Hurd Days was going to do.
Well, that's what she should do. Like, you may not like him, but he is the executive.
I don't know. I think if Rita Hurd Days wants to take advantage of her 6 days as county executive, knock down a branch of the county building and build a ballroom.
Well, that was my idea.
I think she should.
Well, I think that would cost a lot of money, too. A lot of taxpayer money, way more than $30,000.
Well, that's what I mean. How much did this lawsuit cost? Probably more than $30,000. Lawyers are expensive.
Well, I don't know the answer to that question. They do charge way too much. Let's talk to Brad Young about why they can't just, let's keep it to a minimum, pal. $13 an hour, that's it.
That is why legalese exists, why contracts are unnecessarily wordy and obtuse.
So that you have to hire a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I fully agree with that. But yes, I can't imagine that if Steve is gone for 5 days, our boss, Steve, and he says, hey, Ackerman, can you take over and just watch the ship while I'm gone for 5 days? You think Ackerman's going to start making a bunch of changes? Who would even do that? It's not your job. You're just there to be a placeholder until Steve comes. No, I would not.
Absolutely make changes here. You would, as soon as Steve left the building, you would shut the door, lock it, and say, I've got a lot of problems with you people.
You know what? It's not a bad point.
So at any rate,
we could also find a better way, maybe, for Bill Otto and Chris Kyle to settle their differences than having their names pulled out of a jar.
Hey,
I recommend that they use Sheriff Alfred Montgomery's golden dice.
Yes, and I'm not sure why they didn't think of this before.
Maybe the golden dice are gone. Maybe they were sold for scrap.
You know how
I have no idea.
Steve always says we leave things on the table, that we don't really do our best on the show. But
Steve can take a hike.
I think the St. Charles County government's leaving something on the table because they could make this a series with the golden dice, right? And you got to roll 14 and you got to roll this and the stakes keep getting higher.
Why don't you just sponsor this? Why doesn't St. Charles City sponsor some sort of event? It is maybe a 3-event competition between Bill Otto and Chris Kyle. And we can think about what sort of events they have to go through. And the winner, if you win 2 of 3 of the events, then you get to be the city council member.
What if it's like a great race?
Could be like a bike race.
Yeah. Or like a global, the great race.
It could be pickleball.
Why is it not pickleball?
I don't know what we're doing in St. Charles, but
maybe they think that might be discriminatory if you don't have the physical capability to play pickleball. A jar is more egalitarian in that sense. Are they putting in one? Okay, I just want to know, are there going to be 2 pieces of paper in the jar or do they each get 10?
Do you mean, I don't know what you mean.
Like, I just feel like the jar will feel too empty if it's just guy 1, guy 2. Shouldn't it be like each guy gets his name 10 times, gets 10 pieces of paper, so that way it's fuller and you can shake it up?
Yeah.
You can't really shake up 2 names.
Well, let's find the person who gets to hold the jar, and we're going to ask. We will...
What if they made it a huge jar where there's 5,000 of each name?
And I think that's perfectly fine. And then maybe they throw in just one random name of nobody who's involved at all. I love the idea. So City Clerk Kim Hudson is going to be the person who draws the name. So maybe we should get a hold of City Clerk Hudson and find out what her process is going to look like.
Yeah.
And if you have a better idea, how should the St. Charles City Council decide who should be on that council between Bill Otto and Chris Kyle? Something better than drawing a name. You let us know what you think at 314-436-7900. You can text in or leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app.
And I just want to say this, too. You can also text those numbers if you think instead of the lawsuit, Sam Page in Rid of Her Days should use a small opaque jar.
Matt Pauley will be with us at 10 o'clock. We'll talk Cardinals and more with him. The Blues finish up the regular season tonight. Major Garrett, Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News at 10:30. We will talk to Lyle Lovett. Yes, that Lyle Lovett. Yes.
That's going to be fun.
Yes, Lyle Lovett, singer-songwriter. He is a Grammy Award winner, and he will be with us at 11. And then Tyler Neville, who is the Battlehawks tight end. He is, we will talk to him. That's going to be at 11:30 here on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Spring is here in St. Louis, and if you're thinking about selling, now's the time. But timing is only part of it. This is Debbie Monterey, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, why is it still so important to choose the right realtor?
Simple. Not every home is selling fast or for top dollar. Here's the difference. I already have the buyers. With over 2,400 buyers in waiting, I'm not just listing your home. I'm matching it with demand. That's how I offer my guaranteed sale program. We sit down, agree on the price and timeline, and if your home doesn't sell, I'll buy it myself. But my goal isn't to buy your home, it's to sell it for the most money possible in the least amount of time. And that's exactly what my system does. My clients don't have to hope their home sells. I guarantee it.
If you're selling your home this spring, call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res this week. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com to book your appointment. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Still here, still trusted. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Glad you're with us today on this beautiful Monday. We were just talking about St. Charles City Council and one of those races because it was tied or decided by one vote and it was too close to call. They have now decided to go with a jar drawing.
Opaque jar.
A small opaque jar. They're going to draw a name out of that, and that will be the city council.
Which, as Ron said, in some ways does take away from the gravity of the position a little bit.
It's kind of like, I don't know, you guys figure it out.
How much is it going to cost us to do this the right way? $30,000? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Your boss comes into the office and you have a shared office and says, hey, I need this report done by 12 o'clock. I don't care which one of you does it. Just get it done. You know, it feels like that in a way.
I don't think I've ever had a boss say that to me. I've never worked in that kind of environment. I've never done a report.
They're almost impossible to do. Let's go to Wentzville and talk to Scott. Scott is with us on KMOX. How's it going?
Yeah, good morning. It's a beautiful day outside.
Isn't it?
It is.
I have some information on both gentlemen who I admire greatly.
Well, this better not be any slander or libel because we will be in trouble.
I would not do that to you guys.
Thank you.
No, Chris is a great guy. Bill is a great guy. They have both previously held this position. Chris was elected 6 years ago, and Bill defeated him 3 years ago. So Bill's the incumbent.
Yes.
Bill is also a former state legislator. He's retired. Chris is a former wrestler and now PE teacher.
You know what? Okay,
why
Scott,
they're
that's
not
why
doing the wrestling.
So Scott
Yes.
he answered the
He
question
did.
I was about to ask, which is which one would win in a wrestling match? And
well, you mentioned race, and I'm like, that probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Because Chris would, okay. Well, so
but again, they're both great gentlemen, and both would do a phenomenal job.
Well, Scott,
that held the position before.
Appreciate you, Scott.
Thank
that is
you.
great information because I guess we have to.
Okay, but what if one of them was terrible?
All right, how about this? We'll do
Would they still use the jar? Like the jar is easy. A jar is an easy go-to when you like both guys.
We'll do a 3-event competition. One can be a physical challenge.
Okay.
So we can have a wrestling match.
One should be, we should take it between the ears. One
And then
should
we
be a
should have-
riddle.
One should be a riddle. I don't know what the riddle is, but we should have that. Maybe a math contest. Maybe we should do a times tables test and see which one gets done quicker.
That's a great point.
And then the last one, I will have to think about it.
The last one, talent show.
Talent. Yes. Whichever one has a better talent, and it can be whatever talent they like.
But I will say this, too, thanks to our caller, we know both men are, according to our caller, worthy competitors. But again, what if one of them was like horrible, like Stalin type figure? You wouldn't go to a jar for that.
I mean, it's in the rules. Mark is with us in Afton. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, that as a voter, that pisses me off.
Oh.
Okay, we have a system in the United States for voting, and it's a republic to vote. And maybe it's not a big thing, but our system should be honored and respected. And that, as a voter, that really pisses me off.
Do you feel, and I actually really appreciate that sentiment. Do you feel like you're glad they're not using taxpayer money, or do you say no, use the money?
No, use the money, because this is how our system works. I'm sorry you have to use the money, but we've got a system for a democratic system, and sometimes you got to spend the money. But to do it this way, I think it just respects the voters. And we don't get the right to vote. Now we don't get to choose our guy. We're not choosing our guy.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I kind of appreciate that viewpoint.
I really appreciate that viewpoint, Mark. Thank you for calling.
Maybe democracy should be a little expensive sometimes. I didn't think of it that way. My thinking was, yes, it's. I'm not going to say it's a not important job, because a city council is an important job. But is it important enough that we have to have a special runoff election that costs tens of thousands of dollars to taxpayers? And so my thinking was, because we're not talking about the mayor of the city, or the head of the city, right? That maybe it's okay they do something a little out of the ordinary to settle the tie.
Here's the thing, though.
But what Mark says is also true. So should it be expensive, and should we sacrifice to make sure that votes in this country, whether it is a national election or the very smallest of local elections, matter? Maybe he's got a point there.
We are a wealthy enough country to do it. And I will say, to Mark's point in being upset, on a county council where, yes, I think St. Charles is probably overwhelmingly red, but here's the thing. Some of the issues now do not break down between red and blue lines. And I know there have been different ideas with approach to ICE, for instance, and local police.
Yes.
Working with ICE so that they can be certified and so forth and so on, that local government and county council votes might matter more now than they did in the past, because the issues are so divisive and don't always fall. Even if you're a red voter overall, there are splits within that red vote, and maybe you would see that in the county council.
A text message to 314-436-7900. This is from Ricky in South City, and of course, this is the kind of suggestion he would give.
Yeah.
He says, shots of fireball with bush light, last man standing wins. We're not trying to...
I don't think you can do that.
Well, I mean, we could. And another texter says this is a great idea, and that the Loser Lounge can host. That is a good idea. That is Chris's Loser Lounge.
The Loser Lounge could host the jar drawing. It could. And only the loser gets to stay. A 314 Now, I like this because it does feel it has a little whimsy. How about a hot air balloon race?
How much do you think a hot air balloon race would cost? Don't you think that would cost more?
I'm not sure. I'm not up on current rates for hot air balloon races. I think if you certify the course, it would be more expensive if you had to certify the course.
Well, we should look into that. I'm not opposed to a hot air balloon race or a cage match, as somebody else suggested. 314-436-7900. Let us know what you think, and should there be a better way to decide Ward 1 in St. Charles City, the council? How should they decide who gets to be on that council? This shouldn't be one of my favorite things, but this is one of my favorite things.
It's up there with the golden dice.
It's so funny. Oh, boy. Boy, do I love you all. And, folks, it is the play-in tournament is happening right now, NBA fans. And you can enter FanDuel's Play-In Palooza for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets every day of the play-in tournament. You just place a live bet using your Play-In Palooza token. Then you're automatically entered for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Don't just watch the NBA play-in tournament. Get involved somehow. And this is how. FanDuel.com/Missouri. FanDuel.com/Missouri. And enter FanDuel's Play-In Palooza for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. You must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Limit one entry. Profit boost bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost token. Prizes issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Saving money is hard, but what's worse is when you save all year, hoping to use that money for a nice vacation, and then your AC unit dies and that money is gone. Now imagine yourself in retirement. You've saved a nice amount, hoping to use it for fun. But every time you take money out of your 401k, you get hammered in taxes. It's a sad fact, but your number one expense in retirement may not be cruises and trips. It could be taxes. At the All Financial Group, we believe in keeping more of your money where it belongs, with you. Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, April 21st and Thursday, April 23rd. You must qualify to attend. Call today to reserve your spot, 636-230-8824, or go online to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents nor representatives may give any tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It really is gorgeous outside, 64 degrees, very warm, with the temperature approaching a record high today. The high was 90. We might hit 85. Well, it doesn't feel that close. A low tonight of 61. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs, attorneys, and for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based on advertising. advertising.
Spring cleaning rule number 1, out with the old, in with the new. And frankly, your family's old internet connection is a dinosaur. Upgrade to the 1 gig modern family standard from i3 Broadband. It's 100% true in-home fiber with equal upload and download speeds, so your teenager's gaming won't crash your video call. Even better, we're currently offering our longest price guarantees ever on our gig speed internet services. Say goodbye to exploding promo prices and hello to budget certainty. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Okay, I'm bringing up this story as a point of personal privilege because I grew up without cable, watching, among the other over-the-air stations, Channel 24. Do you remember Channel 24? Did you have it in Granite City?
What was 24?
It was the Christian station, the Larry Rice station.
Yes.
They would have really intense
we would have, because
commercials.
we have the same TV.
Yeah.
We all have the same TV stations.
You'd watch.
That's why the Metro East
Yeah.
is considered the St. Louis
Well,
metropolitan
apparently
area.
you didn't watch Channel 24 because you would have remembered it.
Well, I wouldn't have watched it.
Well, they had Bonanza on.
Didn't watch that. See, you're not in my wheelhouse here, pal.
Yeah, I don't think so. They did have very intense commercials, which we'll get to at some point. But, it was Larry Rice. So I grew up with Larry Rice and, the New Life Evangelistic Center. And there have been some issues downtown where he really does have a heart for the homeless, which I really do respect and admire. But you know how really, really good intentions can sometimes go wrong. And I know that people downtown had complained about his center because it would become a gathering spot, a party spot for drugs and overdoses and people just on the sidewalk. So I saw this story earlier this week that the Concord apartments in the Marine Villa neighborhood were condemned. They had had issues. There had been tons of guns and drugs that were confiscated there. They had had issues. They were condemned. And the people were all evicted, which is very sad because they were, kicked out of their home. It was about 20 or so people. But all of a sudden yesterday, at least I saw it yesterday, all these matching tents popped up in front of this condemned apartment complex, and the people were living outside their homes. And I thought, that's kind of interesting that how did they all get matching tents? Because these are people in some pretty dire straits, and they got these brand new matching tents. Someone must have brought them. Well, it was Larry Rice. So Larry Rice brought a bunch of tents to this neighborhood where the people were kicked out of their apartments, which sounds nice. He's also brought supplies, but then what's happening now, people who never lived in that neighborhood are now coming to that neighborhood, and the population of people who are homeless or who are doing drugs is growing. And the other neighbors in the neighborhood they're taking pictures and posting them on social media of people like ODing, of people, with white powder, snorting coke, whatever it may be. They've got pictures now. They're posting on social media saying, oh my gosh, our neighborhood is being overtaken now. And while we feel sad for the people who were evicted, they were evicted for a reason because it was public safety, public nuisance, and now it's even more so. And here's what I've realized. I think his heart's in the right place, but I think Larry Rice is a little bit of a troublemaker.
Because he gave tents to people?
I think he wants to help, but he's not helping in a way that's practical and realistic, and that is conducive either to the safety of the people he's trying to help or of the neighborhoods and the people living in those same areas. Because it does seem like a terrible situation because he's helping them, which is great. But the president of the Marine Villa Neighborhood Association said, yeah, he brought the tents, he's bringing food, he's bringing money, he's bringing gift cards. And so people are showing up from all over the place. And even St. Louis Magazine writes that they reported on the situation. They said, walking around the site, you don't have to look hard to find discarded needles. There's photos of people showing up with weapons, glass pipes, people snorting white powder in the tents that Rice has set up. And now, like we said, the neighbors are saying there are people being attracted to here. And this is a true attractive nuisance that he's created. And the city said, well, we don't have the resources to rehouse these people right now. maybe they could be directed to shelters. Maybe they don't want to go. But this is a situation where I would be upset if I lived in that neighborhood. I know you want to help people, but you can't just enable a lifestyle in a neighborhood like this where now you're drawing people doing drugs, handing out money. You're just making that situation worse.
Of course. I think what's probably going on, and I don't know exactly what's going on in his mind, but what I think it is maybe something like this spurns some sort of real, actual, tangible action.
That's what they're saying he's doing. They're saying he's trying to basically use this as leverage. Like, I'm creating a hellscape. I'm creating a hellscape until you do something, which I'm sorry, it's not his right to do that. He's not an elected official.
Well, no, but maybe he's trying to get local government to do what it can do.
I feel like it is, because you can't force people into shelters. You can't force people into rehab. And that was the whole thing when the tent city was set up outside City Hall, where they would send multiple social workers a day to try to get these people help. They didn't want help. And they said, okay, well, fine, you can't camp here. And they put up the fences.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but something has to happen, obviously, because there isn't enough affordable housing for people. They a lot of times don't want to go to shelters because they don't feel safe in them. And I understand why. I mean, it's not like one side of this is absolutely correct and the other doesn't have a real point here, because I think they do. It's a very difficult problem to solve. I don't know how you do it on a local level, but the reality is there just aren't enough affordable places for people to live.
And we don't know that these people would want to live there because, again, this is a lot of mental illness and substance abuse as well. A ton
but it probably is something to do with that, too. I mean, this is all tied up in together. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to get resolved.
I just feel bad because I think he's a troublemaker, and I wouldn't want him to show up like to our neighborhood or in front of our building. I wouldn't want to walk by that every day.
We are talking about a very unusual way to decide an election in the St. Charles City Council. They are going to draw a name out of a jar, and that's how they're going to figure out who gets to be the Ward 1 councilman. There is also a very unusual way to kill cancer cells.
Okay.
That's what I'm told by the president, or at least Mehmet Oz. You know Mehmet Oz?
Dr.
Oz.
Yes.
You know who Dr. Oz is. He is in the administration. And he was doing an interview with Donald Trump Jr., and this is Dr. Oz's quote. Your dad argues diet soda is good for him because it kills grass if poured on grass. So therefore, it must kill cancer cells inside the body. This is on a podcast called Triggered with Don Jr. Let me repeat that. This is according to Dr. Oz, who says the president argues diet soda is good for him because it kills grass if it's poured on grass. So therefore, it must also kill cancer cells in the body.
That's logical.
Amy,
it makes sense.
Amy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I've never poured Diet Coke on grass. I haven't. It seems wasteful. But let's say it assumes it kills grass. And if I were to drink it, I can see I'm going with it.
Okay. So I just want to reiterate, the president of the United States
so
thinks
wait,
Diet Coke kills cancer cells.
Did Don Jr. push back on this?
I don't know. I'm reading the story on it. And here we go. It says Don Jr. responded by suggesting there might be something to it. Maybe he's onto something, because I will say this. I know a lot of guys pushing 80 and not a lot have his level of energy, recall, or stamina. So must also be the Diet Coke.
And I know, because I know Donald Trump talks about soda and fast food. That's his approach to staying healthy.
Right.
Which would be fine. I mean, Bill Clinton liked hamburgers.
Yeah, but he didn't claim they killed cancer.
It's true.
So, and then he had to stop because he had the heart thing and he had the surgery. And that's why he was jogging and doing all the exercise.
Yeah.
Because he had, was it bypass? Like a quadruple bypass or something?
I can't remember.
So
so he's saying the diet.
Diet Coke has to kill cancer because it kills grass if you pour it on the grass.
Okay. Not that I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. Is there any way that he was joking? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, how many times do we have to do that? How many times? Well, he didn't mean it that way. He was joking.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong.
You know
Of
what I'm
all
saying?
the things that he said, this is the least offensive. This one's
It's
less
one of the
genocidal.
stupidest.
It's less genocidal than some of the other things.
Well, of course.
So that's why.
But
that's why we can have fun with this
It
one.
does sort of speak to a mindset, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That this is where this person's brain goes.
So you have a question now.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is let's just put this out there. This is a very, very stupid thought that the president has. It's objectively stupid. You can argue that, yeah, well, it does kill cancer cells, but it also kills other cells. So it's not really as productive as you think. But it's just a dumb thought. We all probably, unless you are a doctor and have studied this stuff and you know the human body, I think we all probably have at least one or have heard of a strange medical or health thought that is not at all backed by science. And I'll give you one. And this is very dumb, but when I was younger, I used to think that, okay, microwaves have radio. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I don't know.
Okay. Microwaves have, it's radiation. Okay. When cancer patients have cancer, they get radiation. So maybe microwaves keep you from getting cancer.
Did you used to think that?
When I was like 15. And then I realized, well, that's probably very dumb.
That's interesting because I always feel like standing in front of the microwave will make me more susceptible to it.
So that's the other way to look at it.
I don't want to. I don't like standing in front of the microwave. It feels wrong.
Okay. So that's obviously not true. And then there is one that has stuck with me for 30 years because I heard, rest his soul, love the man, love Mike Shannon. But I heard him one time talking about a pitcher.
Yeah.
Who was, and I do not remember who the pitcher was, but they were talking about how pitchers, when they're either, they have inflammation or they have just done a start and then they ice up their shoulders. Okay, they put the ice pack on the shoulders. And I heard him say this, and it has stuck with me for 30 years, where he said, I would think they want to put some heat on it, get that dead blood out of there. I was like, dead blood? What are you talking about? I swear to God, he said dead blood. Why'd you want to freeze it? I don't know. Well, they know what they're doing. What? Dead blood? It was just so folksy. And I loved it, and it has stuck with me forever, and I will never forget that.
That's really funny.
So do you have a stupid medical thought?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what it is. Amy, you must have something.
I have one that bothers me because anecdotally, I can back it up with my own experience, and it also is in every movie and book. But you know how they say, like, if you're cold and wet, like you get rained on or something, or somehow you get very, very cold, you get chilled to the bone. They're like, oh, you're going to catch a cold. You're going to get sick. The sickest I've ever been is always been immediately after I've been super cold. And what I mean by that is one time I rushed to the hockey rink after showering, and I had it was winter, but my hair was wet, and I pulled it up in a bun, and I had shoes with like real thin socks, so my feet weren't warm. And I sat there and I froze for 3 hours during this hockey game. Like, I was so cold. I was cold to the bone. And I got home, and then I was like, the next day I was sick. Like that night, the next day I had a sore throat. I was sick. The same thing happened on a long run. It was 37 degrees, 37, mind you, but raining. The worst possible combination. So I ran 14 miles, not joking, soaking wet. I was so cold at the end of the run, like I couldn't move my hands. I was frozen. I got really, really sick. And they say, everyone's told me, well, that's not how it works. You don't get sick after you get cold. But it has to do something to suppress your immune system, right? That it makes you more susceptible to getting sick, because while the cold doesn't make you sick, it suppresses your immune system. Because I'm telling you, Ranj, every time I've gotten really, really cold to the bone, I've gotten sick.
So let me say this. I think there's a good explanation for this. It's not that the cold makes you sick. It's that there's already something else going on, or that you've been exposed to something. And then the cold makes it more likely it
does something to your
turns
immune
into
system.
Something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I swear getting really cold is the one thing that scares me, because I do get sick.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Let us know. 314-436-7900. What is your weird medical thought or that you are positive of, even though you have no science to back it up. Let us know.
All right. So guess what I have this afternoon? I'm actually really, really excited. I need it. I'm going to The Only Facial. TheOnlyFacial.com. You can make your appointment. Ever since I turned, late 30s, but especially in my 40s, I've noticed wrinkles and sunspots, and my skin just doesn't look as bright and glowy as it used to. But I also feel overwhelmed by all of the products and services out there. The Only Facial makes it so easy. This is just the type of place for me. Just don't give me a ton of options. Just tell me what will be best for my skin and do that. So all the steps of their facial, they do it each time. Whether it's cleansing, dermaplaning, microdermabrasion, it's $125 flat. You're not going to get upsold. There's not extra stuff to do. They're not going to try to sell you products. So that is really nice for me, where I know I can get the stuff done to my face and I don't have to worry about being upsold. Also, there's a location near you, so it's so convenient. So go every month. University City, De Pere, Clayton, Sunset Hills, Frontenac, Creve Coeur, Streets of St. Charles, and now Edwardsville. It is a great treat for yourself or your wife or Mother's Day. TheOnlyFacial.com.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124.
The Biz-5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis, an office party like no other. Create your company team today at stlbiz-.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
I thought I heard this story wrong. Have you heard of Allbirds shoes? They're constantly advertising.
I've also heard of Aldo shoes.
Aldo shoes. Mm-hmm. Aldo has cool shoes. Allbirds, they're constantly advertising on social media. So they pivoted. They said, hey, guess what? We're not a shoe company anymore. We're AI.
Hey.
Like, they don't sell shoes at all anymore.
Okay.
They're out of the shoe business. Allbirds said it has a deal to raise $50 million and change its name to New Bird AI. Their goal is to no longer make shoes, but to, quote, acquire high-performance, low-latency AI compute hardware and provide access under long-term lease arrangements. They've totally switched their model. They don't sell shoes anymore. They're an AI company. Their stock jumped 876% yesterday after they announced this.
So
they have no experience in AI. They're a shoe company.
This makes me feel like, and I'm not saying every company out there should have some sort of soul or a mission of some kind when they start. Like they really believe in, we believe in shoes at a certain price point or whatever it is. This is just, we got to make money somehow, so let's completely change our business model.
And they were falling. I get it. Yeah,
and I do, but I don't know. There's something strange about it to me. Like they exist only to make money. And yes, I get that that's what businesses do. They're there to make money. But I would also argue that many businesses that are started, if not almost all of them, have some sort of mission in mind when they get started. Like there is this need that people have, and maybe they don't know they need it, or we have a different take on it. So I believe in this, and we're going to start this company.
I thought Allbirds' mission was to be green or something.
I don't even really know much about it, honestly. I was going to play the audio for you, but it doesn't really work very well. There's too much static. But did you see this story about the FAA looking into these pilots that were flying near Ronald Reagan Airport in D.C., and they were meowing over the radio?
I heard about this tangentially, but I didn't hear exactly what happened.
So there were two pilots who were just meow, meow, and the other one barked.
So why?
And somebody else jumped onto the radio and said, "You guys need to be professional pilots." And the response was, meow.
Do you kind of feel like, though, in this current environment, where we were talking about air traffic controllers being short and having all of these near misses on runways, maybe now is not the time to meow and bark?
This is absolutely not the time to do it, but these were the pilots. These weren't the air traffic controllers.
Well, but I mean, it's still worse somehow. I don't think the pilot should be meowing and barking.
And the air traffic controller, or whoever it was who responded to them, said, "This is why you're still an RJ pilot." And RJ means regional jet, which I am to assume in the pilot world is an insult.
But you should start using it outside of the pilot world.
You're a real RJ.
You're a real regional jet pilot.
The hell does that mean? Like pilots know.
Yeah.
If I say that around a pilot.
Yeah, you don't even want to see what would happen if I said it around a pilot.
You're going to feel pretty embarrassed. Cardinals took 2 of 3 from the Cleveland Guardians here at Busch Stadium. Off day today. They're back at it tomorrow on the road. And the Blues, their season ends tonight. We'll talk to Matt Pauley, host of Sports Open Line, when we come back on KMOX.
In 1991, John and Cindy Morelli started Morelli Tuck Pointing. As of today, they've won just about every award possible for the tuck pointing business. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighborhood Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For homeowners, this is a great time to get a free inspection of your basement, your brick or stone fireplace, your garage interior, your porch, and maybe even your walkway. Indoor tuck pointing can be started now. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. My wife Beth and I have used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 of our homes now over the last 25 years. We have found the Morelli bids to be fair. Their crews are very polite, and they clean up after themselves. But most importantly, their work is beautiful. Family owned and operated since 1991. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
A new game day favorite is coming to Busch Stadium on Saturday, April 25th, when the Cardinals host the Seattle Mariners. That day, fans take home a Victory Blue Cardinals crewneck sweatshirt presented by Purina, a light and easy style that's perfect for spring and designed to fit right into your everyday wardrobe. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. A limited look you'll want to wear again and again. Tickets and info at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Jose Fermin. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at CrawfordButts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's CrawfordButts.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 10 o'clock. Make that 10:01. We've got sunshine and 69 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. European energy officials sounding a new alarm that if oil doesn't flow through the Strait of Hormuz soon, air travel could be affected.
The head of the International Energy Agency is warning the clock is ticking on oil and fuel supplies in Europe. Fatih Birol paints a sobering picture.
In Europe, we have maybe 6 weeks or so jet fuel left if we are not able to open the Strait of Hormuz.
Birol calls the situation, quote, the largest energy crisis we have ever faced.
Soon, we will hear the news that some of the flights from city A to city B might be canceled as a result of lack of jet fuel.
Brad Gibson for CBS News, Paris.
Police in New Lenox, a suburb of Chicago, confirmed that the brother of Pope Leo received a bomb threat last night. No bomb was found, and the incident remains under investigation. President Trump has been going after Pope Leo for speaking out against the war, and Vice President Vance said this week the Pope should be careful when speaking about theology. A new preschool plan for North St. Louis will focus only on boys. Founder and executive director Cortega Collins tells KMOX the natural behavior of boys is often discipline.
So we wanted to create a space where boys could be themselves authentically, where they can learn social emotional development, because we want to make sure that when they enter kindergarten that they are ready.
There's also a focus on male teachers. The Good Shepherd Academy for Boys has a ceremonial groundbreaking today, funded by ARPA and community block grants. The 8th annual Race for Refugees is this Saturday in Tower Grove Park.
It's raised over $60,000 for the International Institute, so it has become a very important event to engage our community, both native and foreign-born in St. Louis, and also raise money for critical programs that support new Americans that arrive.
Samson Hillary with the International Institute says while things have been tough in the immigrant and refugee space lately, they see more support than ever from people wanting to make sure those new to St. Louis feel welcome. The 5K run or 1 mile walk is Saturday morning, and you can sign up day of at the Sons of Rest Pavilion near South Grand and Arsenal. From the KMOX business desk, in just 10 days, Governor Mike Kehoe's office received 10,000 handwritten letters asking him to veto a bill that would make the intoxicating hemp products illegal. illegal. The letters come from hemp farmers, small business owners, and others who say the legislation would essentially wipe out the state's hemp industry. A spokesperson for the governor says he hasn't made a decision yet on whether to sign the bill, but Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is already sending cease and desist letters to businesses that sell those products.
Mostly sunny and very warm this afternoon, high 86, clear to partly cloudy, mild tonight, though 63. Tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, very warm and more humid, high 87. Strong thunderstorms tomorrow night can produce flooding, downpours, and damaging winds. Saturday may start with a shower, otherwise windy and much chillier as clouds give way to some sunshine, the high only 60. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The weather sponsored by McKelvey Homes. It is sunny and 69 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The McKelvey Homes spring event is one of the best offers they've had in years. Rates as low as 4.75% and savings up to $124,000 on move-in ready homes. The event ends May 31st. Schedule your tour at mckelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Oh, it's the Chris and Amy show, and it is hour 2 of 3. Cardinals have just wrapped up. Not just, it happened many hours ago. But they finished up a series against the Guardians at home by taking 2 of 3. They split the homestand, and now they are off for a series in Houston, which will begin tomorrow night. And the Astros are having a tough time of it. Really interesting note about them is that, and I believe this is still the case, but as of yesterday early, they had the most runs scored in baseball, but they were in last place in their division, which does not happen. We are joined by Matt Pauley, the host of Sports Open Line, Rush Hour Sports, or Redbird Rush Hour, and Cardinals pre- and post-game coverage. He'll have it tomorrow night. What's going on, Matt?
Not much. They also, as of, I guess I'm trying to look at this up real quick. They also had the most runs scored and the most runs allowed as of like 2 days ago.
So they and the Dodgers both have 105 runs scored. The Dodgers, as you can imagine, are in first place, and the Astros are in last in their division.
Yeah, but it was the runs. It was very weird to see leading the league in runs and runs allowed.
They do have, you're right, they do have the most runs given up as well. They've given up more. That's crazy that they have scored more runs than anybody else, but also given up more runs than anybody else. That has to be just really frustrating if you're a fan.
I don't think it's going to be that way at the end of 162 games, but I would bet that's never happened in the history of baseball.
So here we go. The Cardinals have taken 2 of 3 from Cleveland. That's a pretty good Guardians team, and they have many years over the last decade or so, they've had some good baseball teams. And I think the Cardinals overall, I mean, they've got their warts, there are flaws, but I'm still overall, Matt, happy with the way they have been playing in general. There's a lot to clean up, and maybe it never does get cleaned up this year, but are you pleased with the way the Cardinals have played?
Yeah, and I thought the last 2 days there was some importance to it because they went on that 3-game losing streak. They lost the first game against Cleveland and was arguably their worst game played this year. And then they're losing that second game, and all of a sudden Cleveland decides to give them a gift, and they commit the error with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and the Cardinals take advantage of it, and they end up winning that game in extras, and then they win yesterday. So the fact that they were able to kind of pull a 180 where they were moments away from a 4-game losing streak and losing their second consecutive series. And it helped what that Cleveland commits the error for sure. I'm not trying to, gloss over that part of it, but the fact that they did find a way to win 2 of 3, I thought that was a really nice turnaround for this team.
If you are getting scrappy victories, how hard is that to sustain throughout a season? If you know what I mean, like it's hard to maintain a scrappy style all season.
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, Amy, because they're either 8-0 or 7-0 in one-run games, and they're 4-0 in extra innings. And those two things, you tend to go 500 in those. You tend to be a 500 team in one-run games. You tend to be 500 in extra innings. Those type of games are very random, and it's hard to be really, really good in that. Now, that being said, the Cardinals are winning games close, and whether it's using their A bullpen or just the other things they have going for them, it feels like this team is built that when they do win, they're going to win games close. It doesn't seem like they're going to win a lot of games in runaway fashion this year. So they're kind of built to do that. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little bit concerned about the idea that this record in extra inning games and this record in one-run games is really good, because it feels like that's a number that organically is going to start to go in the other direction at some point.
The National League Central is right now the only division in baseball that does not have a losing team. And it is, again, we are, as of today, 3 weeks into the regular season. So there's going to be a lot of change there. When we look back at the Central in September, what do you think it's going to look like? Because I think on paper, the Cubs are the best team, but they're in last right now. The Brewers are probably the second best team, but they're in second to last right now. It almost feels to me like it's not like maybe these standings flip completely. And I'm not sure what to make of the division, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ron, and not all 5 teams are going to be above 500 when the season comes to an end. You wouldn't think, just because the Cubs have gotten off to the slowest start of any of the teams in the division doesn't change the fact that on paper the Cubs are still the best team in the division. Now, the Cubs have dealt with some injuries. They've lost some guys, so they're not the same team now that we thought they were going to be, but I still think they're pretty darn good. And they just had a really good series. They took 2 of 3 against the Phillies, and they scored at least 10 runs in all 3 of those games. So it feels like they may be starting to come around. We have the conversation about the Brewers every single year. They finally won yesterday against the Blue Jays, but before that, they had lost 6 in a row. They don't have a closer right now. Christian Yelich is on the injured list. Jackson Churrio's on the injured list, and they just said that they don't know when he's actually going to come back. They had to push back. Pat Murphy has openly said that in his time managing the team, they've never gone through something like this before. So maybe this is the year where actually the Brewers don't outperform everybody's expectations. But then you look to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and you see a Pittsburgh team that obviously has high-end pitching, that actually spent some money in the offseason, that tried to make themselves better, something they've almost never done. Cincinnati is coming off the momentum of being a playoff team last year. They've got a lot of really good young talent. So you can squint at all these teams. And I've long said that the Cardinals are going to be better than what the outside expectations say they're going to be. And I wasn't sitting here proclaiming that they're going to be a team that's, going after the division. It always seemed like the ceiling for this team, if absolutely everything in the world went right, the ceiling was maybe being a little bit above 500, and depending on what happens across baseball, maybe sort of being in contention for that final wild card spot. But that's a whole lot better than the people out there who thought they were going to be a 100-loss team, which I never thought they were going to be that. So I don't know if I'm really answering your question. I can assess the division, but you're right. When you look at this thing and you say what's real and what's not real, and I don't really know at this point.
We're at least for another few hours going to see Jordan Walker as the home run leader in baseball. He's only 1 in front of Yordan Alvarez, who will get to play tonight, Aaron Judge, who's going to get to play tonight. So this could end. But right now, 3 weeks into the season, I expected or was hoping for better production from Jordan, a few weeks into the year. I didn't think it was going to look like this. And as this goes on, the longer it does it surprise you more that he's doing what he's doing and the way he is doing it?
Yeah, I think so. And he didn't hit a home run in his last 2 games, but he still got hits. So he's got the 11-game hitting streak.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, not only is it the home runs, it's the average. Last time I saw I think he was leading the National League in hitting as well. I'll double check that. He's not anymore. Never mind.
I think it's Abrams, isn't it? Or no.
Yeah.
And Maybe
It's
Andy
Paz.
Paz. Paz. Yeah.
So maybe he wasn't leading the National League in hitting. Maybe I saw something incorrectly. Anyways, but I mean he's got the 11-game hitting streak. He found a way to get a hit late yesterday. All the numbers are fantastic. I mean, dude's hitting 327. He's got the 1100 OPS. I think you just ride this thing as long as it goes and you enjoy it. And if the home runs start to fall off a little bit, that's okay, because I looked at him yesterday and the hit that he got late, that was something that he did exactly what he was supposed to do on a pitch that it felt like he could drive. So as long as he keeps handling the pitches that you feel like he should handle, I'm not overly worried about the home runs, but it certainly is a lot of fun seeing what he's doing right now.
JJ Weatherholtz, what do you make of him 3 weeks into the season? He had the 2 home run game a couple of nights ago, and there have been plenty of times where he's contributed, and defensively he's playing really well.
Yeah, defensive, that's maybe the biggest surprise, because that wasn't really part of what we knew about him coming in, how good he was going to be defensively. By the metrics, he's one of the best defensive second basemen in all of baseball. It seems like he makes every play, especially going to his left. His hitting from a batting average standpoint, it was not what you would have liked, but he was still finding ways to get on base. I mean, this is a guy who right now has a 350 on base percentage and a 227 batting average. So what that tells you is he's walking, and he's walking a lot. And I loved what we saw from him yesterday, because he's coming off a day where he hits 2 home runs. For a lot of hitters, that's in the back of your mind. Oh, I just hit 2 home runs yesterday, maybe swing hard. No, what he does yesterday is he takes what's given to him. He goes 0 for 1, but he walks twice. So he gets on base a couple more times, and that was a really good thing for him. So I have all the confidence in the world in this kid. I think he's going to be a really, really good hitter in Major League Baseball. But I think I'm not trying to make too much of a 2-walk day, but the fact that he drew the 2 walks yesterday, the day after he hit 2 home runs, I really like that.
Hey, Matt, I don't know if you saw this because it did just break in the last hour, but kind of interesting that Mizzou men's hoops has made history because they got their first transfer from KU. So Bryson Tiller is trading his Jayhawks jersey for a Tigers jersey, and that has not happened before.
Good, right? Like he's smart. He realizes that being in Missouri is much better than being in Lawrence, Kansas. So good for him, and good for Missouri. And I'm happy about that. And that just adds to that rivalry a little bit. And so good. I like it. That's that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Things like that didn't used to happen when they were in the same league, because the league rules used to be that players basically couldn't transfer inside of the conference. You would have an extra year that you would have to sit out. Those rules are long gone. Plus, they're not in the same conference anymore. So it's not shocking that it's never happened before, because there were basically rules that made it really tough for it to happen before. And this probably won't be the last time it happens either.
How do you feel now that we are basically at the end of the Blues season? They will play tonight, that it's over.
I mean, I'm disappointed in the season, I guess. I'm not. The fact that it's ending doesn't make me sad or anything. They gave us that little bit of hope in the last couple weeks of the season. I like what we've seen from some of the young guys here since the trade deadline. I think that was a positive for this team moving forward. But yeah, certainly a year where I think going into next season, and I guess it depends on what the roster actually looks like. That's probably the thing I'm most interested in. What kind of more changes will they make on this roster this offseason? But I think it's fair to have expectations that even if they're going with a lot of young players, that next year does look different, and next year is a year where they make a more legitimate run for the postseason.
All right, Matt Pauley, you will have Rush Hour Sports or Redbird Rush Hour today, and then Sports Open Line. What do the people need to know?
No Cardinals baseball tonight, so we will do that. The 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, the first hour with Kevin during Redbird Rush Hour, and then Sports Open Line after that, and it'll be a good evening of sports talk.
We will talk to you tomorrow on the Gas House Gang. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is Matt Pauley, and tonight Redbird Rush Hour, 5 o'clock. Sports Open Line at 6. It goes until 8. And yes, there's Gas House Gang today as well. Bernie Miklas and me. We will have Xavier Scruggs, that is. He's going to join the show at 12:30. And just to us, man, it was, I guess about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we talked a little bit about Jordan Walker with him. Well, he's going to be back, and we'll get his take on Walker and the way he is performing. That is on the Gas House Gang at 12 today on KMOX. Major Garrett is coming up at 10:30. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jen.
Curative, that's a complex decision that involves what we call multidisciplinary care. So that involves a surgeon, a medical oncologist, radiation oncologist. So you need the expertise, and that's something that we have here at Siteman, especially geared for these esophageal cancer patients.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Visit siteman.washu.edu.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Well, yesterday evening, last night, it was around 9:45 to 10:15. There were about over 700,000 people within a tornado warning, which is why, obviously, local networks broke into regular programming.
I got one.
You got one, meaning an alert?
Yeah, and a warning. I heard the siren.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't heard a siren in a long time, but I heard it last night.
Yep, I heard a siren too.
And I was surprised, really?
Well, it's funny because
Didn't know that was coming.
I read the weather every hour during this show, and it did say that there could be damaging winds, but I don't think we read possible tornado. But of course, that is in the mix. And here's what I've noticed. A couple of things. Since the May tornado last year, I feel like the meteorologists have gone out of their way to really explain why a current weather situation is different than what they saw in May. which I really appreciate. I was watching, I flipped between Fox 2 and KMOV, landed on KMOV. And so it was Steve Templeton and Leah Hill, meteorologists for KMOV. And Steve Templeton would explain what he was seeing right on the map. And like, here's, the pressure, here's where we have a little rotation. And he was super calm. And I'm sure he's always been that calm, but I feel like there's been, again, since the May tornado, an extra intentionality in just saying, hey, here's what we're seeing. And he said multiple times, this is not what we saw back in the May tornado or the March tornado. Here's why it's different. And I just want to reiterate. And then when there was rotation and he was saying, okay, in 5 minutes, it's going to, be in the Clayton area. And he goes, and I know that the Clayton area leading into the Central West End that's where it was hit in May. That, we are not talking about that level. He said, I still recommend you, go down in the basements. But I really, really appreciated how he said, if you go in the basement and you stay away from windows, he goes, you are going to be absolutely fine. He goes, I am 100% confident in that, is that you can go in the basement, stay away from windows, you'll be fine. And I just feel like there is that deliberate messaging of saying, we're going to be very transparent. And he said, I'm going to tell you if it were to get worse, right? And he said, that's my job. But I'm also telling you, this is not what we saw in May, to just realize how fresh it is that May tornado still is for people. There are still tarps in North. They're broken homes in North City, tarps and plywood in the Central West End, down through Clayton, all around Forest Park, all the different neighborhoods there. And so for them to hear tornado sirens, it is kind of like re-traumatizing. So I really appreciated how calm all the meteorologists stayed and how they acknowledged how this is different than what we saw in May. I really appreciate it. They did such a great job. Messaging matters. We've talked about this a lot. Words and messaging matter, and he did such a great job. And then I will also say, but it's also okay to let people know that this could turn into something very severe very quickly, which is kind of what they do. So, which he said he would do, but he was saying, looking at the ingredients of this one, he said this didn't have the same ingredients. That was after a period of time. Because and I was watching too, because at first it sounded a little more serious, like it could turn into something. So let's be careful here. And that's okay too, because even if, I think we need to be smart enough to recognize that if they're warning us about a storm that is coming, even if nothing comes out of it, that doesn't mean that in the future you just brush it off like it's not a big deal. Because the last time they told us to get down into safety, nothing big happened. Well, no. And I think that's why he made that clear, that he was still being transparent. And he was saying you still need to get into the basement. But I think the point he was making is it is not that your house is going to be destroyed or don't go in the basement. There's a middle of the road. Not all of them are extreme. And even in the non-extreme situations, you still need to go in your basement, take measures, be safe, realize there could be some damage. But, it's not just it's not 100% or nothing. There's a lot of, I guess I don't know that. I know where you're coming from. I guess I just don't think that they're always like, oh my God, this is about to kill all of us. Go get in the basement. I don't I didn't say that. I'm just saying, you could tell. It's like if you're always doing the message calmly, because I even thought, how would we handle this, right? Like, how would I handle it if I were a meteorologist? You're always going to be calm. You're always telling people that things are changeable, that it could get severe, that you need to go in the basement. But it felt more personal, like he was addressing, like, now I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking back to May. I want to let you know you still need to go in your basement, but the ingredients are different. Anyway, I appreciated it. And I will say this too. I realized I don't know if it was years ago, I get no emergency messages on my phone. I don't get Amber Alerts. I don't get national
I got mine. You didn't get one last night?
No, I don't get any. Huh. And I remember that there was a time when, it sounds terrible, I felt like I was getting several either Amber Alerts or emergency alerts in the middle of the night. And it's a horrible way to wake up to that sound. And I somehow turned off all alerts, which I didn't know you could do, but I turned off all alerts. So I realized,
I think the only ones you can't are presidential alerts.
I don't know because
those are the ones that are absolutely mandatory, I'm pretty sure.
So I had government turned off. It didn't say presidential, but it said government. And I had those turned off because you can break down to alerts and then you go further into it and you can go to advanced alerts and then break down which ones you don't want. And I realized if I'm sleeping, there's no way I'm going to hear the tornado sirens outside. And 2, I'm not watching the news. I need something to wake me up if there's a tornado. So I will say this. If you do have your alerts turned off, I went back in and I did turn my emergency alerts and government alerts back on.
That's Amy Mark Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. It is now time to talk to Major Garrett. That's our guy, and he is with us when we come back. Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
St. Louis is a baseball town, and the Gas House Gang talks Cardinals baseball. Ackerman, Ranji, Nicholas, and Claves bring informed opinions and real insight. Smart baseball talk from guys who truly know the game. And every Tuesday at noon, it's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol. Passion, knowledge, the best baseball talk in town. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon. We know baseball. KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the bagel loan, no closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan, NMLS 226715.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Now, KMOX weather from the Salika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
68 degrees, very warm today, a high of 85. Tonight, mainly clear and warm, a low of 61.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist and owner of Timberline Professional Tree Care. The weather's warming up, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get back outside and start thinking about your trees. When you reach for your phone to call a tree contractor, we hope you'll give Timberline the opportunity to earn your business. Timberline is locally owned and operated and fully dedicated to delivering the best overall customer experience while providing the highest quality care for your trees. Every one of our crews includes at least one ISA certified arborist on site, not just in the office, but right there at your home, so you can be confident the work is done safely, correctly, and always with your tree's best interests in mind. From planting and fertilization to pruning and removal, we're committed to excellence in everything trees. So when it's time to make that call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or visit us online at stltreecare.com.
Let's talk about air medical memberships. In an emergency, you don't choose who transports you. Dispatch sends the closest, most appropriate aircraft. Here's what matters: speed, skill, advanced care. Like critical care crews trained for the toughest moments. Like onboard blood that can make the difference between life and death. Arch Air Medical Service delivers life-saving air medical care across Effingham and surrounding communities. When you call for help, we bring hospital-level care to you. Plus, we're part part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. And about the cost, the No Surprises Act protects patients with private health insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You're only responsible for your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. Medicare and Medicaid patients have similar protections. No surprise bills, no balance billing, no membership required. Because when it's your life on the line, what matters isn't membership, it's medicine. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
You better tell Major what's going on.
Yeah, sorry, Major Garrett, Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News, host of The Takeout, which is a show that you can watch or listen to, CBS News 24/7. Major, we are very sorry for what just happened.
Yeah, that's an unauthorized singer music.
Yeah.
Matt's out of town.
Yeah, Matt's out of town.
Our producer's out of town, and we're flustered, man.
Well, this will mean a letter in your file.
Yeah.
Oh, this is our second letter.
Yeah.
This is not. Is it 3 strikes and you're out? That would be.
Well, there is a review panel that will be involved should there be a third permanent letter.
Oh no.
Okay.
This is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah.
Well, it is on Amy. I'll just.
And Loki is on the panel. Okay, just so you know.
We're in trouble. Major Garrett. So this situation.
We're taking this very seriously, Major. I don't know why you're
I'm
laughing.
upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't funny at all.
Well, look, I'm not the one who blew it. Okay, you're the ones who blew it. Okay, so I just am the one who has to deal with, the personnel issue now that you've raised. So, like I said, second letter, review panel involved. Loki is the chair, so be careful.
All right. Well, feeling that burden, I will try to press forward in our conversation, but this is one of the great moments in broadcasting. But Major, all right, getting all serious again. I know that more talks between the U.S. and Iran will continue today. Meanwhile, the blockade is ongoing.
Ongoing, yes. Ongoing, without a doubt. And the terminology is important. It's a blockade for any vessels and we have aerial surveillance that confirms this, meaning the United States and Israel, but principally United States, any vessels that use any Iranian port. If you don't, and you're not taking anything that is of financial interest to or the benefit of Iran, you can pass. But a lot of tankers still aren't moving because they're not convinced that the passage will be safe. They don't want their cargo damaged. And so, yes, technically you can move, but most vessels still aren't. The one thing that is nominally beneficial to the United States, many in that region that were not inside, meaning from north of the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman, but we're in that general neighborhood, are heading to the United States to get oil and natural gas from here. It's a long journey. It'll take a while. They may turn back around if all this ends. But the administration views that as, hey, we're heavily supplied and domestic producer of oil and natural gas. You can get your supplies here, which, from the administration's point of view, exemplifies their let's build our capacity set of policies, which is more or less true. What we need to see play out, and no one knows where this is going. I had the former NATO General Secretary Jens Stoltenberg on my show last night, and I said, do you have a sense? You talk to all the European leaders all the time. Do you have a sense of whether there's going to be another round of negotiations in Islamabad, direct between the United States and Iran? Is the thing between Israel and Hezbollah and Lebanon going to cool down? He said, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Everyone is sort of on this nice edge. Yesterday, the markets were very optimistic, not just in America. The German stock market was up. South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, all up, all betting in market terms that this was going to end sooner rather than later. But until it ends, or until there's another round of talks, or until maybe Israel and Lebanon announce a ceasefire, which would be certainly helpful, everything sort of still exists on this knife's edge.
So when this happens, if a deal is reached, can we be confident that it's something that can remain in place for a long time to come, or would this just be temporary?
No one knows. Again, even the president, and this is not a news flash because this has been among the constants in this war, keeps bouncing around different terminology, different dates, different aspirations. Senior administration officials, meaning people who work very closely with President Trump, confirmed to CBS News and a lot of other news organizations that when there were direct talks in Islamabad, the U.S. said we want a 20-year moratorium on any enrichment of uranium, which could lead to creating a nuclear weapon. 20 years. Then, when that became publicized, the president said, I don't like that. I don't like 20 years. Wait a minute. Your side proposed that, and you don't like it? So until we have any definition on time, methodology. So, for example, would the Iranians, as the president has hinted, agree to hand over its stockpile of already highly enriched uranium? It's enriched to about 60%. 90% is weapons grade. 3% to 4% is what you need for civilian nuclear power. It's at 60, which means it's close to weapons grade. About 960 pounds of that, according to international experts and inspectors. Would they turn that all over? Would they give that to the United States? Well, that would be a big concession. That'd be a pretty big deal. But until that's negotiated, we don't know what's going to become of that. So all these things are highly technical, very precise, and until they're agreed upon, first, we don't know what the deal is. Second, we don't know who the Iranian regime is that is negotiating and going to make it real. 3, we don't know the timeline or the procedures by which to make it real. So there are a lot of variables here. And what's, I think, interesting, the defense secretary said this morning, there's a blockade, and if Iran doesn't choose wisely, there will be a blockade and bombs. Mm-hmm. So again, the administration trying to put that threat on the table again in case the Iranians have forgotten about it.
Yeah, my question was about Hegseth's Pentagon news briefing, where he said, we are reloading with more power than ever before and better intelligence. We are locked and loaded on your critical dual-use infrastructure, on your remaining power generation, and on your energy industry. We'd rather not have to do it.
Correct. Yeah, and the defense secretary and the president use this language that everyone at the Pentagon knows is not true. It's an exaggeration. It's an embroidery. The president keeps saying, well, we're getting new weapons there. No, we're not getting new. It's the same ones we had, okay? We're not inventing brand new weapons in the course of this war, and tankers aren't rushing across the seas to refill. No, that's not happening. They're using what they have on board because they're well equipped and well positioned and well fortified. There are no new weapons. Okay, there may be a couple of resupplies, but I'm not even sure that's happened. You have what you have. You're prosecuting it as you are. Still lethal, still very deadly to the Iranians, and they've been pummeled, and that's a fact. Pummeled to the point where they're willing to give in? No, but they've been pummeled. And the administration wants a reminder out there because the ceasefire is supposed to lead to something definitive by next week. And if it doesn't, then the ceasefire technically ends. Will it be extended if they're still talking? Again, another variable.
Major, there was a vote yesterday, and it passed, or the Republican-led Senate voted in favor to block a war powers resolution that would have curbed the president's ability here. And that obviously failed. So what is the reaction to that in Washington?
So Democrats in the Senate have made it very clear. They're going to vote on this every week. They want to vote on this every week just because they want to raise the issue. You've sent the United States into war. You should have consulted Congress. There's a lot of money involved. It's a very expensive war. There's a pending Defense Department request for $1.5 trillion. Congress needs to be a part of this. Senate Republicans are not prepared because in the Senate, on a vote of this nature, you need 60 votes to pass it. Not prepared to do this. There is a 60-day threshold under the War Powers Act, and many Republicans on the Senate side are waiting for that 60 days. That'll come up in about 2.5 weeks. Then they might say, well, the administration hasn't either briefed us enough or come to us for an approval of this war, but they're waiting for that 60 days. It's sort of a placeholder for Senate Republicans who do not want to get crossways with the president, do not want to interfere with his commander-in-chief decisions. Thus far, Senate Democrats keep raising the war powers basically as a way to say the war is unpopular, gas prices are higher, inflation is ticking up, you're aggravated about this, and we're going to remind the Senate about that every week. They don't expect it to prevail, but it's a pressure point on this. And at 60 days, it'll be interesting to see if any Senate Republicans who have been with the White House break.
Major, can you give us a little bit of your state of the Democratic Party, just with seeing some of some big newsy headlines, whether it's Eric Swalwell being ousted or even Hassan Piker kind of doubling down on being pro-Hamas while he was on the Pod Save America podcast. And I'm wondering, where is the Democratic Party trying to find itself? Where is it leaning in or pulling back?
So there's an interesting dynamic for Democrats broadly. Still no leader, still no one creating for himself or herself a new definition for what a Democrat would be in a 2028 context. No one. They have their own record, their own identity, but they're not challenging party orthodoxy. They're not trying to create an alternative dialogue, as many of us who were there at the time remember Bill Clinton trying to do in 1991 and 1992 as he approached the Democratic nomination, saying there needs to be a new dialogue, there needs to be a new approach. All these old liberal ways of the Democratic Party have got to be set aside. No one's trying that, at least not yet. But the atmospherics for Democrats broadly are favorable. They're raising a fair amount of money. Certainly individual candidates are. The polls are certainly in their favor. Special election results have shown a shift in their direction. So there's some fundamentals that work toward the Democrats' general benefits. But still, on a generic ballot basis, or do you think this Democrat's a great leader? Chuck Schumer? No. Hakeem Jeffries? No. Gavin Newsom? Sort of, but not really. J.B. Pritzker? Kind of, but not really. Rahm Emanuel? Sort of, maybe, maybe not. No one definitionally is sort of, I'm the one, the heir apparent, I'm the one. Kamala Harris? Certainly not. They're all trying and vying. So on an individual basis, the Democrats are still kind of hamstrung the way they were after the 2024 election. But their prospects for the midterms keep brightening. The Cook Political Report, which is not gospel, but a lot of people in Washington pay very close attention to it because they do a lot of on-the-ground reporting with consultants in states. They pay attention to all the granular details of all campaigns. Move 4 Senate races in the Democrats' direction: North Carolina, Georgia, Nebraska, and Ohio. So there are some reasons that the Democrats should feel pretty good about this overall midterm atmosphere. But to your point about Eric Swalwell, he's out of the California governor's race. That thing's still mixed up. There's no Democrats who've really created any strong momentum for themselves. So that campaign hasn't really defined itself yet. Gavin Newsom seems to be disinterested in who will succeed him as governor of California. Kind of odd. So it's a mix. And it's not altogether a mix that makes, if you're a Democrat or a partisan Democrat, which I'm not, I just pay attention to these things, sort of wondering, well, what's 2027 and 2028 going to sound and look like? Is someone going to emerge, and is there going to be a conversation about a new Democratic Party or a different Democratic Party? Or is it going to be the same Democratic Party that failed so spectacularly in 2024 and left a lot of people wondering what the future of that party ideologically or outside of urban America actually is?
Major Garrett, Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News. We appreciate your conversations every Thursday, and we will do better by you next time, we promise.
I know you will. I know you will. I have faith.
Thanks, Major.
Loki will not be involved. You guys will get it straight. I promise.
Thank you, Major.
There we go. There we go. See?
Oh, we're losing.
That's my answer.
We're having
every single day.
Of all times
of all
for us to have a bad phone connection, it just
For
right
real,
at the end.
he's breaking up.
Major, we promise we're not just doing this. We can't hear you. Thank you, Major Garrett. You're the best. We'll talk next week. That is Major Garrett, Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX, and you should know that right now the NBA play-in tournament is happening, and FanDuel wants you to get involved in Play-In Palooza. That's for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets every day of the play-in tournament. And all you have to do is place a live bet using your Play-In Palooza token. Then you're going to be automatically entered for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Don't just watch the NBA play-in tournament from the side. Just go get involved. FanDuel.com/Missouri is how you can get started. Don't forget, enter FanDuel's Play-In Palooza for a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Certainly, it's a great way to follow along with the action. Play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Limit one entry. Profit boost bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost token. Prizes issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spam-A-Lot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I've been burned before. I was just repeating the same patterns. It turns out I had a type.
Workplaces everywhere are looking for love. And by love, we mean the easy way to order food at work. Easy Cater.
I thought ordering from great restaurants at work had to be complicated, but then I met Easy Cater. So many options, so flexible, and when I ordered for 50 gluten-free vegans without going over budget, I knew I'd found the platform I wanted to do life and lunch with.
Fall in love with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
In 1991, John and Cindy Morelli started Morelli Tuck Pointing. As of today, they've won just about every award possible for the tuck pointing business. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighborhood Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For homeowners, This is a great time to get a free inspection of your basement, your brick or stone fireplace, your garage interior, your porch, and maybe even your walkway. Indoor tuck pointing can be started now. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. My wife Beth and I have used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 of our homes now over the last 25 years. We have found the Morelli bids to be fair. Their crews are very polite and they clean up after themselves. But most importantly, their work is beautiful. Family owned and operated since 1991. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
So we were supposed to have a conversation with Lyle Lovett, you know, the singer-songwriter, the gentleman who used to be married to Julia Roberts. He is...
For short whirlwind. I think they got married 3 weeks after meeting.
It was something very quick.
It was very quick.
It was a really famous
Yes,
union at the time.
because I was a child.
And you knew about it.
And I knew about it. And I remember thinking, I love it. Like,
yeah.
Because she was so beautiful and he was interesting.
That's kind of what everybody said. Just it wasn't the typical what you would have expected.
But,
no, but we are supposed to
yeah.
talk to him. And I believe we have to reschedule for tomorrow. He's going to be performing at City Winery next month. He's got a couple of shows there. So we are now expecting a conversation with Lyle Lovett tomorrow.
But you're right. That was the whole thing, is that he was like this quirky singer-songwriter. And I mean, that was 1990s Julia Roberts. She's still, obviously, she's gorgeous now, but just she was so big in the 90s.
She was at her peak. I mean, that was, yes. That was.
So, yes, as a child, I remembered it. So it must have been a big deal.
Well, looking forward to talking with him tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. He a lot of fun. He wrote a song. He wrote a song about Steve, our boss.
Oh, did he? What's it
It's
called?
called "I Have a Boat," or "If I Had a Boat." I think it's what it is.
He did. I was going to say Forest Park. Maybe we'll talk about it when we get back.
Because you got a lot. Forest Park got another great honor.
That's right.
It gets honored quite a bit because it deserves it, and it has received another one, and we're going to tell you about that in just a little bit. Gas House Gang is coming up at 12 bells. We have Bernie Miklas and me. We're going to talk some Cardinals. We'll maybe get into some Blues hockey as they finish up their season tonight. No playoffs. It's over. After tonight's game in Utah against the Woolly Mammoths, they will be done for the year. And then we'll come back in the fall, play again. And we'll talk to Xavier Scruggs, who is a baseball analyst. At one point, he was a Cardinals player. And now he is doing some baseball analysis for MLB Network. And he will join the show at 12:30 today. So you are going to want to stick around, I promise you. But the final hour of the show with Amy Marks-Kors and me, Chris Ranji, is next on KMOX.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Spring is here. Hi, this is Tim Gamma.
And I'm Tom Gamma.
When it comes to tree care, call the name you can trust. Gamma Tree Experts, founded by our dad, Frank Gamma, in 1954.
Frank will be 91 this year, and the third generation of Gammas have joined the business.
Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Now in our 72nd year.
For pruning, fertilization, and removal, call Gamma Tree Experts today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps, or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your legacy box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. legacybox.com/radio.
Sunday, April 26th is packed with fun. When the Cardinals welcome the Seattle Mariners, you can score a classic chain-stitch Cardinals hat presented by Coca-Cola. Plus, kids 12 and under receive a Fredbird Hall of Fame ring presented by the Pasta House Company. And get the chance to run the bases after the game. Giveaways, post-game fun, and Cardinals baseball all in one big Sunday showdown. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Matthew Libertor. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fredbird and games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11 o'clock and we have plenty of sunshine right now in downtown St. Louis. It is 71 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. Pakistan's army chief met with Iranian officials in Tehran in a bid to extend the ceasefire, which paused almost 7 weeks of war. International Energy Agency Executive Director Fatih Birol says there will be big repercussions if oil and other vital supplies cannot pass soon through the Strait of Hormuz.
What is happening now is the largest energy crisis we have ever faced in the history.
He says Europe has about a 6-week supply of jet fuel left. Former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and his wife have been found dead in a murder-suicide apparently committed by him, according to authorities. CBS's Anna Schechter says there have been accusations over the years of domestic violence.
The police chief Davis, when he spoke this morning, he said this is a very messy situation. That's a quote, and there's a lot going on.
Both of the couple's teenage children were home at the time, and the son called 911. New Lenox, Illinois police investigating a bomb threat at the home of Pope Leo's brother.
Police responded to the home of John Prevost on Sojourn Road at about 6:30 p.m. after getting a report of what they later said was an unsubstantiated threat. A statement from police says out of an abundance of caution, surrounding homes were notified and asked to evacuate, and specialized units, including the Will County Sheriff's Explosive Detection Canine, responded. It says there was a thorough search of the residence, and after careful examination, investigators determined the threat was unsubstantiated and no explosive devices or hazardous materials were present. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
When it comes to urban gardening, St. Louis ranks 4th best in the nation after Atlanta, Miami, and Houston. That's according to Lawn Starter, which points out a 600 square foot plot for fruits and vegetables can save you about $600 in a single season. St. Louis scored highest when it comes to community gardens, 2nd highest in the nation. From the KMOX business desk, businesses across the country tell the Federal Reserve they're watching what happens in Iran and as they consider decisions on hiring, pricing, and capital investment. What's the sentiment here?
Conflict in the Middle East is cited as a major source of uncertainty, and it is impacting business and decision making.
Charles Gaskin, economist and assistant vice president at the Federal Reserve of St. Louis. Gaskin says the cost of fuel, plastics, and metal continue to put manufacturers in a squeeze.
Input costs are still rising faster than prices that businesses are able to charge to households. And so that's still compressing profit margins.
He points out higher end consumers continue to spend while lower income consumers are trying to cover the cost of necessities. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Sunshine for the most part this afternoon and quite warm, high 86. And tonight clear to partly cloudy, low 63. Tomorrow partly sunny, breezy, very warm and more humid, the high 87. There'll be some strong thunderstorms moving through tomorrow night. They can produce flooding downpours and damaging winds. Aside from an early morning shower on Saturday, it'll be blustery and much cooler as clouds give way to some sunshine. The afternoon high 60. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's mostly sunny and 71 degrees. The weather is sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
My favorite place in the whole world has once again been recognized for the absolute gem that it is, and that is Forest Park in St. Louis. Has been named for the third time in 5 years the best city park in America. This is from the 2026 USA Today Reader's Choice Awards.
Well, so that must be that's gospel then, right?
Yes.
If the readers,
it's canon.
If the readers say it's true, then it's got to be true.
Well, and this is
what's so good about Forest Park.
What's so good about Forest Park?
What in the hell is so good about Forest Park, Amy?
1,300 sprawling acres where you have running and walking paths and gardens and playgrounds and baseball fields and rugby fields, cricket fields. Art museum, history museum.
What else?
The zoo, the jewel box, and all the World's Fair Pavilion, the Grand Basin. But seriously, Forest Park is such a national treasure. And I think it's easy for me to take Forest Park for granted. Let me rephrase that. Not for granted within the scope of like the country of how special it is, but take it for granted with how recently they brought it back to its glory. Because by the time I became an adult, I think Forest Park Forever had taken over and fixed the jewel box and rebuilt bridges and, planted all the beautiful trees and flowers and so forth. Because I think like the 80s and 90s, the whole park was not as picturesque and perfect as it is now. I saw some some photos of, we've got these beautiful Victorian bridges, in Forest Park that previously, instead of having, I don't know if you'd call it the concrete and the stone and kind of the elaborate shape of these bridges, instead of having that, it was literally just like rebar or some metal pipes. Those were the handrails for the bridges, like in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know that. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know that all of this beautiful detail was so new. But you look at Jefferson Lake and how they completely redid the bridges, the wooden walking path around Jefferson Lake, and kind of made it a second Grand Basin in a way, again, with the beautiful, elaborate Victorian bridges, the new gazebo by Jefferson Lake where you can sit there. And so the beautification of Forest Park is ongoing and relatively recent when you compare it back to the history of the park. So the fact that they were able to restore it to the World's Fair greatness, meaning obviously not all the buildings, they planted trees and we got the green space back, but just that romantic, elaborate architecture and landscaping is something that we can never, ever take for granted.
Well, I need somebody to find, which is allegedly, according to legend, buried in the park, the foundation of the old Ferris wheel. Which
Not
was
the actual Ferris wheel?
No, it is. It's the original Ferris wheel that... the first one ever, I believe. I think it was the first one that was at the Columbian Exposition, the Chicago World's Fair, and it was disassembled and was brought here at one point. And the legend has it is somewhere buried in the park. Now,
I heard it was buried under the golf course somewhere.
Well, if that's true, dig up the golf course and find it.
Did you know there are multiple golf courses in Forest Park?
Yes.
You knew that?
Well, yeah, there's one over by the jewel box, and then there's one in the opposite corner.
That's exactly right. And there's archery there.
Yes, it's by the horses.
It is by the horses, which I think Has a real Robin Hood
By the,
vibe to it, doesn't it?
I've every time I go by there, I'm like, why do we have just an open range where you can just start shooting?
Feels a little open.
I don't know that we should have bows and arrows in the park.
I think we should.
It's not monitored.
Well, you're not allowed to use it unless it's monitored. Where
There's
are the
nobody ever
Renaissance Fair
there.
people going to shoot their arrows?
We don't. You don't need to shoot arrows.
Have you ever even seen Robin Hood?
I have. We don't have to shoot real arrows.
I think you do.
So that is the what you're talking about is across from the driving range,
Mm-hmm.
and it is by the horses where the police department keeps their horses, and the science center.
They're constantly
Well, the planetarium, I guess.
They're constantly redoing, fixing up, renovating, making even more beautiful the park. Like I said, whether it's like, the bathroom buildings and
Right.
and the stone around those buildings, repaving the walkways, adding benches near the softball fields. And right now it's all torn up, but they are completely redoing the skating rink.
Well,
And I don't know. I need to look at the SketchUps, the mock-ups of what it will look like.
I do have a problem with this list.
What?
And my problem with the list is Forest Park is a fantastic, hands down, great American city park.
Even go where I think you're going to go.
Where do you think I'm going to go?
You think Central Park is somehow better?
Central Park is pretty damn cool.
It's not better.
It's
Forest
pretty
Park
damn
is
cool.
bigger.
That's not what I was going to say, though. Central Park is not even in the top 10 on this list. I don't know how that's possible.
That's weird. Those are the only two I can name.
It's because it's not even in the top list.
That's surprising.
So I feel like this is almost an insult that number 2 is Bonnet Springs Park in Lakeland, Florida.
Bonnet Springs.
Why do you insult us like that? Why do you insult us by putting it so close to Forest Park?
Oh, I'm Googling it now.
It doesn't even
Gag.
belong. It doesn't belong in
No.
the same 168 acres. Get lost with that.
And that white building that looks like a nuclear fallout shelter.
Looks stupid.
That rose above ground.
Number 3 is called Gathering Place in Tulsa. Come on, man.
Gathering Place in Tulsa. It sounds like a coffee shop.
Origin Park in Clarksville, Indiana.
You know what? I was super excited about this award until you've read these other parks. Now
Yeah.
I'm actually upset.
Tower Grove Park is better than Bonnet Springs Park.
Yeah, you are so right.
Right? The only other one that might be worthy of being in the same conversation with Forest Park is Golden Gate Park in San Francisco.
Who made this list?
That's a 1,000-acre park, and that's known as one of the great parks in the country. What are we talking about here?
The Gathering Place. Yeah, this is terrible.
No, I've been there to the Gathering Place in Tulsa. It's actually nice. Pretty nice.
Who is this?
Yeah, who are you talking?
Who is this talking? Did we give you permission to speak?
Sorry.
Why were you at the Gathering Place?
I was in Tulsa and just walking around. It's a nice park.
Yeah, but it was nice.
Compared to the rest of Tulsa.
Tulsa's pretty nice.
Tulsa sucks. I've been to Tulsa.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
Why
I
were
flew there.
you in Tulsa? Why did you fly to Tulsa?
I had it there.
Tulsa.
Tulsa. I did. I had an ex-lady friend whose dad lived in Kansas, and you had to fly to the Tulsa airport to go to Kansas.
So you've been to the airport.
And then we went around. It sucks.
Did you go to the Gathering Place?
There's no one said it was worth it.
Is it for kids?
No, it's just like it's a park.
The Gathering Place does sound like it's got a bunch of ball pits. You know?
It does.
Like it's for children.
Yeah, the Gathering Place sounds like it's for children, or it sounds like a denominational church. That's kind of niche.
Hey, Tom is joining us from Glen Carbon. Hello, Tom.
Good morning.
Yes.
As far as the Ferris wheel at the 04 World's Fair goes, I've always heard that it's just the axle that's buried.
Yeah, the foundation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, not the whole thing.
Not the carts, just the axle.
It's just the axle on which the whole thing rotates. Every now and then they do some excavation in and around the park, and with metal detectors, and they think they found it, but it turns out not to be.
Oh, so they're lying to us?
I don't know.
All right. Well, Tom, you find out, Tom. Thanks for the call.
Thanks for the call. Hey,
it better be there.
We have a texter from a 217 who seems to be on Drew's side said the gathering place in Tulsa is amazing. I brought my 17-year-old there when we looked at a university there, and at first he was suspicious, but he ended up having a blast.
Suspicious of the gathering place? Is that what you're saying?
Well, suspicious, yeah. I think skeptical is probably what they meant.
Yeah, I'm not suspicious of it. Like, what is the gathering place up to?
You said it's for kids.
What's going on over there?
Something's going on at the gathering place. I can tell you that much. I don't know what it is, but it's not good. Ooh, you're not going to the gathering place, are you? You know what happens there?
That place is sus.
Bonnet
funny.
Springs Park.
I don't like the name Bonnet Springs.
And you can't tell me that there's a park in Birmingham, Alabama that is worthy of being in the top 10. Railroad Park? It's only 19 acres.
Bonnet Springs has some cool stuff. There are some pretty pathways. There's a pagoda, just like Tower Grove.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
The rest
I
of this
feel-
list is insulting to me.
I think it is sus. I think the rest of it is sus. But anyway, we should be happy. We are grateful for Forest Park. Man, I love that place.
And do you know what the number 10 park in the country is in Greenwich, Connecticut?
Oh, Greenwich. Is it called
the moment I tell you the name of this park, you're going to say this list is bad.
Yuppie Park Place?
The park is just called Bruce.
It's not.
It's called Bruce
Do
Park.
you know how glad we should be that Matt is not here? He might have a grabber. Matt hates things that are named after regular guy names.
Bruce Park.
Yeah.
Hey, want to go to Tom Park today?
Don't you think
Doesn't that
Bruce, though,
sound
is probably the
terrible?
last name of someone spectacular in Greenwich?
Well, let's look up, Drew, you're our research team. Please look up spectacular people named Bruce from Greenwich, Connecticut. Thank you. But as long as this list is Forest Park number 1, very, very distant second park in the country, Bonnet Springs, then I can get down with it. Otherwise, I'm a little insulted. We
Yeah,
shouldn't even be in the conversation.
I know. I'm
with these
trying to
others.
think of it would be like saying the top 2 greatest math minds in our history as voted by the people are Albert Einstein and second Ranj, who eventually got his multiplication table done.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, well, that can't be right. Like Albert Einstein obviously is 1, but somehow just you being number 2 lessens the brightness of the shine of Albert's victory.
Well, I think USA Today has a lot to answer for, and we should get them on the horn and figure out what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
And no more lists until we figure out what the hell is going on. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Tyler Neville, Battlehawks tight end, will be with us at 11:30. And here's the thing we have, I think, historically on this show, when we talk to a Battlehawks player, we're like 20 for 20 in them just being awesome interviews. So we'll see how well Tyler does. The pressure is on. That's at 11:30 on KMOX.
2026, I've been hearing from customers and friends that their utility bills went up quite a bit for their electric bill. That being said, and you're looking at buying a new air conditioner, or you're thinking, hey, I guess let's just get an air conditioner so it helps with the electric bills. If you have an old system, it definitely can help you. But watch your thinking. Just because you are told this is a so-called high-efficient air conditioner, it's not going to save you nowhere near what you think it's going to save you. Just replacing your old equipment is the biggest thing, and make your house efficient. An air conditioner is not going to make your house efficient. That being said, it's a great time to purchase an air conditioner if you get the correct one. Don't overspend. Don't believe the hype. In other words, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Call me, Bart Inman, at 314, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. God bless.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit. Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Saving money is hard, but what's worse is when you save all year, hoping to use that money for a nice vacation, and then your AC unit dies and that money is gone. Now imagine yourself in retirement. You've saved a nice amount, hoping to use it for fun. But every time you take money out of your 401k, you get hammered in taxes. It's a sad fact, but your number one expense in retirement may not be cruises and trips. It could be taxes. At the All Financial Group, we believe in keeping more of your money where it belongs, with you. Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, April 21st and Thursday, April 23rd. You must qualify to attend. Call today to reserve your spot, 636-230-8824, or go online to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents nor representatives may give any tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
So we have people who are checking in with us via the text line at 314-436-7900. And this texter says that I thought they already found it being the Ferris wheel. That was at the 1904 World's Fair. And
I like
that
to
was
think that someone just turned the show on. What are these people talking about? What kind of show is this?
the Ferris wheel that was at the World's Fair,
Yeah.
which was at another World's Fair before that, the very first ever. And they say it's under Skinker.
See,
And-
I was going to say I thought it was at the Skinker Lindell corner.
And this texter linked to a news story from 2011 from the West End Word. And they say that a person back in the 1980s was working on the expansion of Wydown Middle School, which is just west of Forest Park, and that they think they located it there. There was a large piece of metal still underground on the edge of that property. So
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe they should start digging up buildings.
I don't know that
I really think we should find that Ferris wheel.
Well, I think it's just the axle
I mean, why would we not?
because it seems like a waste of time.
I disagree. Wouldn't you love to see it?
It's not the thing. If all the cars, if they took the Ferris wheel, dug a hole, and then tipped it over, cars and all, yes, I would want to see that. But it's just the axle. It's going to look like it's like when they find a bone to a dinosaur. You don't know what a T-Rex looks like.
But
It's
that's
just
still
a
pretty-
bone. It's just a femur.
It's still pretty cool when you find it.
It's fine.
It's not
I want to
fine,
see a
it's
whole
cool.
dinosaur.
Well, everybody wants to see a whole dinosaur, but I'll settle for a femur.
I don't think you would.
Okay. Well,
Hey, since we had some good news about the city, I wanted to, bring us down. I thought I should bring us
typically
down
do.
a notch. Another business is leaving downtown St. Louis for Clayton. Littler Mendelsohn PC has left downtown St. Louis. It's a labor and employment law firm, and it moved its offices from 600 Washington Ave to downtown Clayton. The law firm leased about 6,000 square feet of the 600 Washington Avenue building. They moved 2 months ago, And this is important because downtown St. Louis vacancy rose to 33.1% in this first quarter of this year. So downtown St. Louis office vacancy has risen 33%. And as the St. Louis Business Journal points out, that doesn't count like the AT&T building and all those big vacant buildings, which have been empty for years. So when you look at that vacancy rate as high as it is, that doesn't include those giant buildings that are already empty. And that's not a good thing, especially when you see law firms, marketing firms like Fleischman Hillard had been downtown for 75 years, I believe it was. Man, those are big losses. It's big too that, KMOV moved to Maryland Heights. Fox 2 moved to Maryland Heights. KSDK is still in the city limits, but it's not downtown. Now it's down in the Dogtown area near Hampton. And it does make me sad because we're moving in the wrong direction. We talk about you need people, you need restaurants and cafes. As Bill McClellan said, you need people smoking on the sidewalks again. You do. You need those breaks, but if there aren't any those smoke breaks, or drink breaks, if there aren't any people working downtown, you're just making it so much harder to get the foot traffic to have daily patrons at restaurants, cafes, coffee shops, bars for happy hour and so forth.
I do think that at some point here, we're going to get to a place where there's going to be some sort of major investment in the city where somebody will be thinking ahead and say there is an opportunity in downtown and there's going to be a rebound that happens. So we're going to bet on it to happen. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know how that's going to be, but and it's really just a feeling. And maybe that is completely naive, but at some point there has to be a correction for the way the city has gone. And really it's decades. It's not, we keep talking about it like as if it's a recent problem. This is many, many decades that there's been a deterioration of downtown. It has slowly been on a decline since before I was a child. It's just, we have to make sure that we turn the downtown area into a thriving place once again. It'll be difficult to do it, but I do think that somebody at some point in the future is going to cash in on placing a big bet on downtown St. Louis. And it may never happen in our lifetimes. It could happen after us, but I do believe at some point it's going to.
Remember how Charlie brought up what happened in Detroit, how you said Detroit was the butt of jokes. It was the most dangerous city. And
anymore.
No one talks about it like that
But it
anymore.
still has its crime. It's not like that's all gone.
But they've had investment, and Charlie mentioned the businnement, and it is not the Little Caesars guy. A texter also points this out.
I was thinking of Mike Ilitch, but it's not him.
It's not Mike Ilitch who owned the Detroit Red Wings. It's Dan Gilbert of Rocket Mortgage.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He invested over $7.5 billion into Detroit. He renovated and acquired more than 100 buildings, and he transformed the city's core. We also talked about how they suspended democracy for 2 years in Detroit because Detroit went bankrupt. And so they didn't, the mayor, the council, mayors and councils weren't running the city anymore. There was a lawyer, there was a guy they brought in, and he ran the city for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's such a very, very different situation than the situation the city of St. Louis is in.
And I don't think that can happen here.
No, I don't think it wouldn't happen here, but also St. Louis isn't bankrupt. We have the windfall from the ARPA money. We had the windfall from the NFL lawsuit, the Stan Kroenke lawsuit, where you have $500 million coming into the city. And so it is not, you can't just say, well, let's do what Detroit did, which stinks because Detroit is moving in the right direction. Do we have, someone, our own Dan Gilbert? I don't know. And I don't know that necessarily it would work because, again, they also had their suspension of democracy kind of. And not really. I'm just calling it that because they had the business guy run it for 2 years. It's not apples and oranges. Apples and apples. Sorry, it's apples and oranges. And so I think we can learn lessons from Detroit, but I don't know how much of their actual processes are applicable for St. Louis because it's such a different situation.
Right. So it would have to happen in a different way. The point is that it is absolutely doable. It can happen here. It would just take a major investment from a group or from one person. And another thing that would have to happen is, and it's not just downtown, but it is partly downtown, something has to be done about owners of derelict buildings that don't even attempt to do anything to fill those buildings with tenants of any kind. And there are too many of them.
And that's, I think, what Dan Gilbert did, I'm assuming, in acquiring and renovating those buildings.
Yeah.
Right.
And, we have an interesting sort of infrastructure with all the red brick buildings, which are sturdy, but you can have those issues where bricks, for example, we had the Binkleys in who were owners of the Honky Tonk Bar, which used to be Game 6. And it's a little south of downtown, just a couple of blocks from the ballpark. And they have another place called the Garage, which is basically next door. And they have a courtyard in the garage. And the building next to it is vacant. It's been vacant for as long as I can remember. And the wall of that building just collapsed. Just fell into the courtyard. Bricks and everything just fell into the courtyard. And they were about to host some parties there. And now they can't. So that's money out of their pocket. And the owner of the building next door, from what I understand, is just sort of, whatever. Like, what do you mean, whatever? We need to have owners who really do care and want to do something and think outside the box to get people to want to be tenants in those buildings. There's a lot of good real estate in the city.
Yeah, and I will say, I want to give credit to Cordish that developed Ballpark Village, and then Cordish is also in partnership with the Gateway Arch Park Foundation. They are developing the Millennium Hotel site.
Yep.
So, that is a start, but we have a long, long way to go. And in the meantime, St. Louis is losing business.
Also, Arch Apparel, which had a storefront here at Ballpark Village, and several months ago, the owner of that was sort of blaming the Cardinals for being lousy, for there not being enough foot traffic. Well, the business is closing down altogether. The online store is closing down altogether, which leads me to believe it was a little more than just the Cardinals not being particularly good these last couple of seasons. When we come back, Battlehawks tight end Tyler Neville will join the show on KMOX.
Most sellers put their home on the market and they just wait to see what happens. Well, I'm Kevin Wheeler, and I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one that I trust. That's Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
It's the spring clearance sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress now through April 21st.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Don't miss savings of up to 75% off our list price throughout all 4 showrooms. Plus, get up to 60 months special financing.
We have more American-made furniture than ever to choose from. Finish every room in your home with quality Amish-made furniture in today's updated styles.
See our new spring styles on display, including our fully stocked Flex Deal and Smith Brothers furniture galleries.
It's time to get the quality sleep you deserve. Right now, take half off any Chapman Wells luxury mattress when you purchase an adjustable base.
Visit any of our 4 locations, Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville, to save on over $8 million of inventory with delivery as fast as tomorrow.
Don't miss the spring clearance sale at Miller Furniture now through April 21st and save up to 75%.
At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture. Shop online at MUELLERfurniture.com.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's warm out there, sunny and 72 degrees. The high today, right around 85. Tonight, mainly clear and warm, a low of 61.
Brought to you by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. Before you packed your child off to college, did you get a power of attorney for them? Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids' crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
It's already April. Maybe you're planning to have some get-togethers, a graduation party, Father's Day cookout, who knows? But is your outdoor space ready? Maybe you never got around to all those improvements you had been planning. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. And whether you're looking for a new deck or a patio, a pergola, a sunroom, a screen room, or all of the above and then some, Chesterfield Fence and Deck can make the magic happen because they have 58 years of experience and they have thousands of satisfied customers, and they offer real value because when you spend the money, you get a project that is going to last for years to come. They only ever use the highest quality materials. They have their own installation crews. That's important because those crews have years of experience. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll offer you 20% off your next outdoor project. Give them a call, stop by, or they'll come to you. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son, Mike. In addition to the comp case, there's a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives. Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Scores. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Battlehawks tight end Tyler Neville. And yeah, you get to say you went to Harvard and graduate from Harvard. Does that feel like a trump card in any sort of environment where you meet people and you're all talking about what you did and you say, well, I went to Harvard. What'd you do?
The ace up the sleeve.
Well, I don't say it quite like that.
Well, how do you say it?
I went to Harvard, losers. Can you even read?
Did you go to community college?
No, it definitely is. I mean, it's cool. I honestly, I wouldn't have gotten into Harvard without football. Just because I could catch a ball well, they let me go study there. It is, it's going to help me down the road whenever my playing days are over. I've made connections. I've learned stuff that, I think will open some doors that wouldn't have been open had I not gone to Harvard. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool. But I can't say I go out and just tell it all the time. And also, I won't say it's as pertinent when you're a professional football player. I don't know how much it helps me here.
Well, okay, let's say you're in the locker room and there's some sort of debate going on about, whatever, anything. It could be anything. Do they not turn to you and go, hey, Harvard boy, what's the answer?
Well, yeah, it'll happen in that. And then in film, like AP, our wide receiver coach, just a couple minutes ago, he's like, all right, Harvard, how do we know that it's man on the outside? And I'm like, well, UNC, if there's a linebacker over the back.
So it's a blessing and a curse.
Some of that.
Yeah, way to go, Harvard.
We have another Harvard guy on the team.
That actually it could suck in a way, because if you make a mistake, you come back to the sideline, somebody says, great job, Harvard,
But
you're telling me.
Yeah.
You're telling me. I ran the wrong route last game. The first time I've done it in a very, very long time. And, I definitely hear it. Anytime there's any mental mistakes, I hear it, and they don't, they're not calling me Neville. They're calling me Harvard.
Harvard, yeah. Tyler, did you just say, that's right, there's another Harvard guy on the team? Did you say that?
Spencer Rowland. He's a tackle.
We talked to him.
We did talk to him.
Yeah, so he's a lot smarter than I, so I think they go to him for debates.
It's like a rocket scientist or something,
right? A literal rocket scientist.
He literally is. I remember when we were at Harvard, he would miss the first 30 minutes of our Thursday walkthrough practices because he had some astrophysicist lab that he couldn't miss. It was crazy.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Man, I love it. Well, can I ask you, Tyler, too, about your childhood? Because you had some health issues in your childhood with your ears, your nose, your throat. You had, 20 surgeries by the time you were 18, and then eventually also was diagnosed with cancer. Can you walk us through a little bit of what you went through?
Yeah, here's Spencer walking right here. Hey, Spencer. Yeah, they threw it all at me. I was born.
They call him Rocket Man.
Deaf.
Like, hey, Rocket Man, how's it going? That's your.
Yeah,
that's yours.
So I was born deaf. So my first 4 years, we were just kind of trying to figure that out. It cost me a few surgeries, and then cost me 8 years of speech therapy. Couldn't say my R's for a little while. And then, progressed, got older, and I had chest issues. I don't know if you've ever seen people with a sunken chest, but I had a sunken chest pretty good. And I started kind of lose consciousness while I was working out. And so I had to have the NUS procedure, pretty much a bar put in my chest, and flip it upside down, and it kind of breaks your whole chest. And then you got to keep the bar in for a couple of years for it to kind of cocoon and, build protection under where you just broke your chest. And then I had that in, and I was having chest pain, and I was 15 years old, and I'm thinking I'm getting big, I outgrew this bar, let's get it out, because I couldn't play football. I was like, let's get it out, let me play football. So I go in, X-ray, kind of growth in my chest, and then they're like, okay, we gotta check this out. 2 days later, I get a biopsy on my neck. Doctor told me he went in and they only took half the lymph node in my neck because he thought everything looked so good. And my brother had a game. He played at Army. He had a game that Saturday, and I had this biopsy on, I think, a Friday. And I was good to go. I went up to the game. And then Monday, I came home, went to school, came back from school, and both my parents were home, which never happened. My dad was usually working. sat me down, kind of just bluntly told me, results came back and I had cancer. You sit there, you cry, you talk it over, and then it was kind of straight to business. I went upstairs, had some alone time, and then I still had this, pretty much open wound in my neck. I had stitches in there. But I came downstairs after a couple minutes and I asked my parents, or I was like, can I still go to basketball tonight? And they completely forgot that I had this open wound in my neck because I just told their child they had cancer. And they're like, absolutely. So that's kind of how I went about it. It was around eight rounds of chemo. Lost the hair, the whole shebang. But I kept playing basketball, pushed through it. And so I was grateful for that. And then as soon as I finished chemo, this is the part that I kind of left out, pre-draft. But as soon as I finished chemo, I was trying to get back in shape, get ready for next basketball season. And I fractured my back, my L4, L5. And that was definitely difficult. I had to relearn how to walk as a sophomore in high school. I'm 16 years old using a walker. For a few months, I had to have a rolly backpack, and those weren't very cool when I was in high school. And then a few other surgeries kind of mixed in there. So I guess I've been through a decent amount. What's crazy is, I'm one of 6 children. I've had 20 something, and none of my other siblings have had really any. I think one towards like labrum. So I took the brunt of it. I don't feel like my siblings thank me enough, but
Tyler,
it's definitely been crazy.
That is so much to go through, and to be able to still play a professional sport, and you spent time with the Cowboys too. So
the most physical, the most brutal professional.
Right. Was there
sport.
ever a time where a doctor or multiple doctors said, you know what, maybe you shouldn't do this?
Not a doctor I'd listen to. I don't think so. Yeah.
Was when you mentioned your back and needing the back surgery because you fractured the vertebrae, did that have something to do with the cancer or the illnesses you had, or was that just a freak thing?
Yeah, I think after you finish chemo, your bones are a little brittle, and it was right after. So yeah, I mean. That's what the doctors had assumed. Yes, ma'am.
And we know you recently visited Siteman Cancer Center. How was that visit for you?
Yeah. So I never been back to a chemo ward besides my own. I go back and I'd see Michelle and Rob, my 2 nurses, and Dr. Lowe, who's my doctor. But I'd never been to a different one, and it was tough. I started a foundation my freshman year of college kind of for that. I was 15, 16 years old going through chemo. People think I had it pretty bad. But if you walked into a chemo ward, you saw me versus, these children going through stuff far worse than I can imagine. I was blessed. I was incredibly lucky. It's very sad to see. I don't think anyone can go in there and, keep a smile on their face. It's very difficult. But it was nice. Like I remember every single person who came in and did something while I was in chemo. We had a girl come and give Girl Scout cookies, had a couple athletes come in. I remember every single one of those experiences. And the fact that I could kind of be on the other side of that was pretty sweet. So it was definitely good to be there.
It's incredible that you did that. And the foundation you're talking about, Tyler Neville Foundation, TylerNevilleFoundation.com, if you want to go learn more about it. Remarkable person, man. Yeah. And we're wishing you the best. Good luck on Saturday too in Washington, D.C. Good luck against the Defenders, and we hope to talk again very soon.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thanks for taking the time.
Battlehawks are cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
These guys,
love the Battlehawks.
You are making fans for people who may never have watched a Battlehawks game. I know you just made a ton of fans. You guys are awesome.
I appreciate it. Well, I hope they watch now.
Tyler Neville, tight end for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Again, they play at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday in Washington, D.C. It's Chris and Amy show on KMOX.
Spring is here. Hi, this is Tim Gamma.
And I'm Tom Gamma.
When it comes to tree care, call the name you can trust. Gamma Tree Experts, founded by our dad, Frank Gamma, in 1954.
Frank will be 91 this year, and the third generation of Gammas have joined the business.
Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Now in our 72nd year.
For pruning, fertilization, and removal, call Gamma Tree Experts today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Really fun interview, Ranj. And I would say every time we talk to a Battlehawks player, we leave feeling
they're
impressed.
all great. I don't
so
think
great.
I don't think there's been a single, however many we've talked to, and it's a good amount. I don't think we've talked to one person when it wasn't a good interview.
Yeah. No duds.
All of them have been great.
We have a texter who said Spencer Rowland is an astrophysicist, and this guy went to Harvard too. These Battlehawks are all wicked smart.
Well, Rowland went to Harvard also.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Sorry. They both went to Harvard. Yeah.
And okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, super impressive. 314 says, my son is on the 9th floor at Children's, currently getting chemo. Tyler is so inspiring to listen to.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, and we wish the best for you, for your son, and health for him and all of you. Just getting through that time.
Another texter here from a 217 would like us to verify that they are not blocked. So, no, you're not blocked. I don't know who you are or what your problem is or why you feel like you're blocked, but you're not.
Guilty conscious. Probably
Sounds
has
like
texted some bad stuff.
Oh, I guess I should also make it clear, Amy, that I am not running for mayor in Granite City.
Okay, this is news to me.
You thought I was?
You said you were. The last we talked about this,
well, I was
you were running for mayor to spite Mayor Mike Parkinson because he threw shade at you on the news in the morning.
Yeah, on Total Information AM when he was talking to Megan. And I said, well, out of spite, I'm just going to run for mayor now.
Yeah, and you never disabused us of that idea. So why would I ever know that you're not running for mayor?
Well, because I don't have the fortitude for it. I can't.
I know what it is.
Be a mayor? What?
You're shaken up by the small opaque jar. You're afraid it might come down to a jar situation.
Maybe we should have Mayor Parkinson on to find out what happens if there's a tie for mayor in Granite. And
I
then
feel like they're not going to do
get
a jar
out.
I don't think so.
It's probably a big steel drum, and they just draw a name out of that.
Do we know when this drawing is taking place? Doesn't it always happen at 10 o'clock right before the news?
I don't know. Yes.
Or is that the lottery?
The reason I say this is apparently a lady asked my mother about it.
Oh, no.
And she said, my friends, we were talking about it. He's running for mayor. That's wonderful. Like, I'm not. No.
That's adorable.
First of all, I don't live there. Secondly, Mayor Parkinson seems to be doing a fine job. I'm not going to be running for... I can't be a politician.
Yeah, well, it would have been nice for us all to know this before we made signs.
Do you know how many things would have to happen in order for me to be a politician?
7?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have to scrub everything from the internet because my history is not good.
It is not good.
That's
You're going to have
number
to get
one.
non-disclosure from a lot of ladies.
Hey, calm down.
You're going to have...
The hell does that mean?
You said a lot of hey.
You calm the hell down.
NDAs, baby.
All right. So, also, the lesson is we need to do better as a country with sarcasm and spotting it. I don't think we do so well.
The jar is real, though. Just FYI.
The jar is real. Good luck to Otto and Kyle running for St. Charles City Council. And good luck to that jar. I got to see the jar.
I want a jar picture.
Have a great rest of your day. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts, listen to the show, interviews, segments, full show, whatever you want. It's all there for you. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Hancock and Kelly because it's a Friday. But coming up next, Bernie Miklasz and me with the Gas House Gang. Xavier Scruggs joins the show as well. That's next.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
Gen Z has rediscovered the shopping mall.